Yeah. Second point is actually how you can help me.
Mm-hmm.
How you can help me. You can help me by being patient with me, as examples. You can help me by listening without interrupting me. That's a classic one. Yeah. Um, you can help me by, regularly checking if things are okay with me. You can help me by giving me space when I ask for it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you can help me by giving me the advice that I ask for. You can help me by spending time with me. You can help me by keeping me informed about what is happening. You can help me by telling me what your plans are without me first asking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some examples to think about with uh, telling the person. First is getting the person to notice the situation. The second is explain to the person what they can do after they notice the situation. The third is what I need to hear. It's it's about what I need you to be for me. What I need you to be for me. And I need to hear what it is that you're thinking because I'm not a mind reader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I need I need you to know that you don't need to talk all the time. You can be quiet. I need you to express to me that you understand that it's maybe not my fault. It's just the way that things are. That you're not blaming me. I need maybe to hear that you're not blaming me. I need to hear that you care about me. That I need to hear that you're safe within this relationship, that you're happy, that you're content. I need to hear that problems are temporary and we will solve them.
Mm-hmm.
I need to hear from you that I'm going to be okay, that you're going to be okay. I need to hear from you that you're here for me. And a lot of this is just not expressed a lot of the time. So
Mm-hmm.
so it's opening a door because you don't ever want to be left with the well nobody told me scenario. So you say at the beginning, look, I'm telling you now because it's it's going to save time. It's going to save problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if we are heading somewhere together,
hmm
let's take this with us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, next, the fourth thing is
Well,
I need you to
mm-hmm.
know. I need you to know what does not help me. Because there'll be times when you think that you're helping me, but you're not. Because your life teaches you that this is good. My life teaches me that this is good. And there's going to be times when these conflicts because we're different people. So, you know, so I have to express what does not help. It does not help when you don't communicate. It does not help when you're not checking how I'm feeling. It does not help when you give advice to me that I haven't asked for. It does not help when you're unkind about something. It does not help when you don't respond to my messages, as a classic one, for example. It does not help when um, you minimize my feelings, which is
Mm-hmm.
you don't validate or express that you understand how it is that I'm feeling. It doesn't help when you criticize in a way that's not constructive. It doesn't help when you break promises. It doesn't help when you don't trust me.
Mm.
It doesn't help when you take too much care of me.
True.
Yeah. And it doesn't help when you avoid talking about things that we need to talk about. So those are classic examples. Classic examples that most people face. So far we've done noticing when, expressing when you would like help, getting the other person to notice, expressing how you can help, what you need to hear, what does not help. The fifth thing is how I will express to you that, or how I will ask, how I will ask for help when I need help. Right. So there's going to be times when I want you to observe that I need help, and I'm not going to say things because we're not perfect. It's life, right? And there's going to be times when I'm going to be direct with you, and I'm going to tell you where I'm going to. Maybe I will call you directly and ask for help. Maybe I'll not want to talk about something, and that's actually a sign that I maybe need to talk about it. And maybe you should ask me about that as well. So when I'm spending time with you, that is a sign that I'm happy to communicate and I'm open to communicate. But also if I say I want to be with you and I'm not with you, that's also a sign that maybe is something we need to talk about as well. Sometimes we ask for help in a non-verbal way. Yeah. Just our state of mind is going to be a state of mind where we're subconsciously asking for help. But also maybe I can write a message to you, or if here's a classic. I don't know if I'd express this to a partner, but I think it's important to realize that if you're communicating to your friends that you're unhappy about something within your relationship, that's the wrong thing to be doing, because you need to be communicating in the relationship about things you're unhappy with in the relationship. Because there's nothing worse than finding out from somebody else that somebody said something to somebody else and didn't deal with it directly as well. So you have to be as direct as possible. And the final point is how the partner will know that everything is okay, that the needs are being met within the relationship. This is when we're communicating, when we're being social, when we're going out, when we're doing things together, when we're active, when we're not tired. Because having energy is important. When our moods and our feelings and our temper is balanced and stable. When we're making good choices, that's how we know that things are working. When we're happy, when we're optimistic, when we're positive, that's when we know that things are working. When we're flexible, that's how we know that things are working. When we achieve our goals and our plans, when we make plans and achieve them, when we're taking care of ourselves and looking after ourselves, when we're being kind to ourselves, when we're respecting ourselves, and when we're there when the other person needs us to be there, that's when we know that things are working. So these are difficult things that should maybe be dealt with over a period of time, but they're still important to communicate. And if we, like I said earlier, if we don't communicate our needs, then our needs don't get met. If you're in a restaurant and you don't ask for a side salad, you don't get a side salad.
No, yeah.
If you don't ask for ice in your drink, you don't get ice in your drink. And again, that applies in almost all areas of life. Yeah. Uh, why do I not have that job position? Well, have you expressed to everybody that you want that job position? Right? It's it's making it easy for other people to communicate with you, or making it easier for them to communicate with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and that's important because communication is the foundation of all relationships. So uh, so I think those needs are key to express. Um, it's nothing too complicated. It's just about human
No.
expression. It's about human expression, and um, one of the key elements for me from that list is in the last part, which is flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
When we are flexible with each other,
Yeah.
it shows that we're comfortable in the relationship and in the situation.
Yeah.
As long as we don't erase ourselves in the process,
Mm-hmm.
where there are certain relationships where people try too hard to do too much for
Mm-hmm.
for the other person, which is just an expression of their own insecurity that they think the other person is not going to be happy with them for some reason.
But I thought it has to be flexibility on both sides. It's like
Yeah.
just.
Oh yeah. Well, otherwise you have dictates, right? Which are, this. It has to be exactly the same way every time, which is it's not good for anybody. It's just going to lead to a sterile relationship where
Mm.
where there's nothing worse. I've seen this so many times in my life. There's nothing worse in a relationship which is completely predictable. Where you know exactly what they're going to do and they know exactly what you're going to do and nothing changes. I'm not talking about I'm not saying it's negative to be connected. It's positive to be connected. But when the connections don't lead to anything, when there's nothing new, when there's no new input, when there's nothing fresh being injected into the relationship, when you're not growing, then you have stagnation. And yeah, I don't know. I just have this feeling that the like you don't want to be. I don't know. I got this picture in my head of a place where I used to live, and every now and then you would see people walking up and down the street in their dressing gown
Mm-hmm.
and slippers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of for me it wasn't, oh, they're comfortable being who they are. It was more they've just given up on being anything at all.
Oh
Because
yeah.
because nothing is going to change and it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the wrong kind of it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, because you can be you can be outgoing and great things happening, and maybe there's small problems. You can say it doesn't matter and it's okay, and it is okay. But there's times when you don't want it to become apathy, where you don't
Mm-hmm.
care anymore, which is that double-edged holistic principle, which is you don't want to care what other people think about you, but you don't want to let that become apathy, where you don't care about anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a difference between the depressed person walking up and down the street in their dressing gown and slippers and the eccentric person walking up and down the street in their dressing out in slippers, right? The purpose and intent is different.
It's different.
Yeah, and as long as your intent is positive, almost nothing else matters. As long as your intention, why are you doing this? Blah blah blah. Well, I have good intentions. I want things to be better, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know, but that's the intention. The intention is to improve things. The intention is to make things better, not to make things worse, not to control people, not to not to manipulate things so that they're no longer individualistic. Um, as long as the intent, as long as the intent is good and positive, almost always the result has a positive, some level of positive effect. And and that matters a lot, I think, to people in their relationships.